Ooh, honey, come on, new camera angle. Come on. So, hello, everybody. So, this is going to be a new series on my channel, or we're trying it out. This is going to be for my lovely Aries, my fire sign, my Aries, to see what their person is thinking about, what it is that they're feeling right now. I wanted to give a little bit more insight, right? Remember, these readings are just here for entertainment purposes only, darling, right? It's impossible for these tarot cards, Aries, to truly be speaking for everybody in the very official way, but we can kind of get some, get an impression, darling. We can kind of get some food for thought for where it is that they're feeling right now. Tap into a little bit of that, and then it's up to you, Aries, to kind of make the decision on where you want to go from here. So, yeah, Aries, let's just start getting into this message. Let's figure out what it is that your person right now is currently thinking or currently feeling. Aries, let's get into this. See what it is that they're currently thinking about you. Let's see. So we have the Seven of Air. Ooh, darling. So this card here says the plans for revision, more going on that meets the eye, and poor timing. So right off the bat, Aries, I want to talk about this in that this person seemingly has their guard up with you. There's this sense of where a little bit of where they are kind of aware that there's something more going on, Aries, that there's a little bit more than what you're kind of presenting, I guess we'll say, Aries. And so because of this, I do get this almost general impression, which we'll see with some clarifiers, darling, that there's a little bit of a, we'll say like a little bit of an intimidation factor, a little bit intimidated or spooked over the fact, Aries, that they don't know what to really make of this situation with y'all. So let's get some clarifiers on this, see how they're feeling a little bit deeper. Queen of Cups coming in here, coming with the Four of Swords, paired with the King of Swords in the reverse. So, Aries, I really kind of want to talk about this person. They're pretty much in their head at this point. We're getting all air cards, all with, especially with this Queen of Cups here, heavy, heavy in terms of they're kind of like, I don't want to say they're going crazy or in terms of like their mental, but they're really trying to figure you out, Aries, it seems. Now, this seems to be in a pretty good way overall, right? But I do feel like there's a little bit of lack of communication currently, especially with this King of Swords here in the inverted. It's showing to me of an individual who has kind of like the right idea. They're interested in approaching more, right? With the Queen of Cups and the Four of Swords, this is someone that's a little bit more tender-hearted, right? A little, I see this kind of as someone that wants to open up more. Though the Four of Swords here kind of brings in this tricky dynamic. Oops, as I hit my camera. It brings in this tricky dynamic, Aries, for y'all in the sense that, you know, this speaks about almost like this sense of forgiveness or moving on from something. So I don't know if this individual, Aries, that you were engaging with at one point, because again, I really don't feel like there's too much communication right now. It gives me this impression where during this time of lack of communication, this Four of Swords comes in where, you know, perhaps they realize where they messed up if there's something that they messed up in, Aries. And so with this Queen of Cups here, they're kind of wanting to reapproach you, wanting to reconnect with you. But then the King of Swords inverted, this is what's stopping them, right? This is where it's like they don't know how to really go about speaking the truth. They don't know how to really go about engaging with you further, and especially because of the Seven of Air, it just seems like they're just extremely in their head trying to figure things out without actually communicating, because they don't really know how to communicate exactly with you, Aries. So Three of Pentacles, this is a really good card to have. Like, their entire intention, Aries, is to engage with you, is to connect with you on some level. But, you know, intentions and actions are two different things. Like, all I can really tell you is that this individual, while there's no communication, and you guys may not have really ended out on too well of a note before, or you guys may not be on very good terms, right? This is the only logical thing that I can gather from this as to why it would be in this dynamic, Aries. It shows to me that they are wanting to pick up where things were left off at one point, right? But maybe they're afraid there's too much pain, too much that's kind of happened, very much so a situation of, I don't want to say it's like the one that got away, but it's almost like Perhaps some of them realize that they messed up. This person realized that they messed up, or maybe there's too much history, too much baggage that's happened, so you can't really go with how things used to be. Right, Two of Wands does come in here. It seems like truly, Aries, I don't really see too much action on their part, to be quite frank. I see someone who really is in their head and probably going to experience a little bit more of this paralysis by overanalysis. So then it's kind of showing to me, you know, it's up to them to kind of build up the courage to communicate with you. If, you know, if you don't want to take charge yourself, right? Because I'm seeing in terms of their intention, nothing but positive, or like this desire to be vulnerable, Aries. So now let's see a little bit of how you're feeling about the situation, right? Let's see how you are seeing this person as. We have the Hierophant in the reverse. We have the Moon card. Ooh, darling, you don't feel like you can trust them at all, darling. Your guard is up, baby. Oh my gosh. So with this Hierophant in the reverse, normally when this is in the upright, Aries, this is a card of where it's just like higher commitment, right? You're taking things more seriously. And so when you have this paired with the Moon card, like this person, you're just like, you don't know how to, like, you can't get a read on them. You can't figure them out. And because of this like sense of mystery that they might have, where you can't quite get a gauge on what it is that they're thinking or feeling, like that's what kind of has you on guard, where you're kind of skeptical and you're just in this place where you're just like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore, right? You don't want to play the for maybe this is me projecting, right, Aries, but for you guys, it seems like you don't want to play a guessing game with someone and their intentions anymore. Strength card in the reverse seems like a situation that you probably have been, I don't want to say struggling with, Aries, but definitely a situation that has been weighing in your mind, going back and forth for quite some time. I do feel like this has been something that's been kind of draining for you on some level. So yeah, I don't know if this is just a situation, Aries, where you're just tired of the games. That's kind of where I'm seeing this as, because from your point of view, right, you're just seeing this person who's not communicative. You're seeing this person who's not really, like, you, oh, darling, as I die, darling. Yeah, like there's just too much that you don't know about this person, or like, you know, they're not being clear about their intentions or their feelings naturally, right? Because it seems like they're all in their head about it. And so yeah, Six of Air, Six of Swords coming in for you, Aries. This card says things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation and taking a trip. So I want to really capitalize on that part, Aries, for you guys, because it does seem to be like you guys are kind of in this place of wanting to transition out. Ace of Pentacles, right? Yeah, you guys are kind of interested, your interest is starting to shift, like your focus is going into somewhere else, right? In this situation here, probably you guys have been, because it shows like the amount of like strength in that inverted for you guys, it shows how much you already have invested into this connection, but a little, like, too little too late is kind of like the energy or the vibe that I'm getting with this. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, y'all are just interested in terms of going into new territories. That's where your direction, that's where your vision or focus is on right now, Aries. So let's see how this situation could pan out, right? Let's see how this situation could pan out if you two were to engage, darling. If, you know, let's do best case scenario for this. Let's see here. All right, Aries, we have the Five of Cups. So definitely one of those things. I do see the potential in you guys kind of linking back up. But with this Five of Cups here, this does come in with the sense of needing to make some uncomfortable conversations happen. Needing to speak about some elephants in the room. This is kind of, I feel like, kind of familiar, resonant to your weekly daily reading, Aries. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link somewhere for you to check it out, darling. Or you can just look on my channel. But with this Five of Cups here, this does show to me like there's potential in y'all linking back up, but you know, it's gonna come with some hurt feelings, some honest truths, some tough love, darling. We have the Seven of Swords in the reverse, so definitely this is kind of giving me this impression, Aries, where it's just like both sides of the party, where because there's a lack of communication and transparency, I feel. It's giving me this sense where it's like you guys are both left to your own devices and unintentionally playing like this mental game that you're having with each other, where you're kind of just having to be left with guessing or assuming how this other person's feeling or thinking or doing, in any of that sense. And so because of this, because you guys are left to your own imaginations, it's kind of like worst case scenario, it feels like, for both of you guys create these worst case scenarios. So with this sense here, this is kind of showing to me where it's just like all kind of on some level of misunderstanding, but I do feel like there's going to be a little bit of still hurt feelings because of just being like a, you know, realizing how each other are seeing each, like the person seeing each other's perspective of each other, if that makes sense, right? And then we have the Five of Wands. Yeah, I do believe that if you guys were to have a conversation, there'd definitely be some confrontation. There would definitely be some type of difficult conversation to have, darling. But let's see if it's going to be worth it, though, right? Because with this Five of Cups in the reverse, this always leads me to be a lot more optimistic. It just is going to be one of those things, Aries, where you have to ask yourself the question of where it's like, is this worth fighting out, darling? Right? Because this Five of Wands here, it's where it's like, you kind of have like those brutal conversations, that brutal, tough love. And you know, there's usually those kind of like fiery, passionate confrontations that we'll have with people, usually with normally the people that we hold closest to us, that can handle the level of magnitude, that can handle the real, like, blunt, hard truth, darling, right? So Ace of Cups coming in here in the upright, as well as the Six of Cups coming in here. So very positive. If you guys do actually engage with this, again, Aries, obviously the ball is in your court, darling. It's none of my business how you choose to engage with this situation. I'm just a man reading some tarot cards, giving you a perspective, honey. And in this perspective, it's showing to me where it's like, well, after you guys fight it out, Aries, in the long run, this is where a better understanding comes. And especially with the Six of Cups here, this shows to me that y'all have a history, right? And so I feel like you guys are going to be able to come out of this a lot stronger, but it does require both parties to not only be willing to have that really brutal conversation, inevitable brutal conversation, but it also requires both parties to be ready to receive that type of conversation and to be really wanting to, both sides wanting to go forward and elevate forward in this connection. So yeah, Aries, that's the cards that I have for you. But honey, let's just end with some oracle cards, right? I like to do oracle cards. I want to start incorporating my oracle decks in my readings again, because oracle decks are my favorite. So we have the Skunk Spirit, number 9 in numerology, knowing your worth, right? Naturally, if you're going to receive this energy again, know where it is that you know where to set the proper boundaries with this person. Know what to ask for. Be okay with asking for more respect, right? By knowing your worth, you can say, it's just like, hey, this behavior here isn't cool. This behavior here isn't okay. We have the Goose card, darling, coming in. Take time to rest and recuperate rather than continue your striving. So I do believe this is one of those things, Aries, that this is going to be a time-consuming engagement when it comes to this connection. You're going to have to, you know, be willing to put some time away into investing into making this connection work. It's not going to be handled in like a quick phone conversation, darling. It's going to have to be something that you both are ready to mesh with. Like, you're gonna have to be ready emotionally to go through with this. So then we have 2 cards that came out for you, moon cards, before we close this out for you, my beautiful Aries. We have the Void, of course, moon, nothing will come of this situation, paired with the blue moon, believe in the impossible. So this, I feel like, is more so speaking in terms of my more cynical Aries, where you guys are kind of like, this person just isn't worth it anymore and not interested in giving them another chance. You know, I guess this is more so my optimism speaking through, shining through, darling. Obviously, you know what to do with the situation. I don't know how I would handle it personally if I gave someone numerous chances and like they never were up to answering the call, right? Actually being up to having the conversation. But, you know, the ball is in your court, darling. But that is the tarot reading that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Aries. It was fun to do. I might be definitely doing some more of these. But if you found some cards that resonated, let me know in the comments below, darling. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, it's SimplyVelca.com. Or if you would like to follow me on any of my social media, darlings, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and whatever you want to, whatever social media, honey, I probably have it. And it's just going to be Simply Velca. But I love you so much, Aries, and I hope I can connect with you sometime in the near future. If you haven't already, check out your weekly horoscopes. And yeah, I'll connect with you soon. Bye, Aries.